look at is the original equation, and we look at A. If this is positive, then our vertex is always a minimum. If this is negative, then our vertex is always a positive. And the range is always dealing with the y values. So we know 0 in this case would be a minimum. So that means the range, we can get the value of 0, but that's going to be the absolute smallest we can ever get. And so the range would go from 0 to infinity. Continuing with example 10. F of x equals negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. Okay, the domain, relatively simple. Is there anything we can't plug in? We can plug in anything. 0, positive, negative, integers, fractions, decimals, whatever we want. So the domain is all real numbers. But when we find the range, we need to look at the y value. In order to do that, first thing we need to do is find the vertex, because we know the vertex is going to be either a maximum or a minimum. In this case, it will actually be a maximum, because this negative says that the parabola is upside down, so we're going to hit a high point. So we know our range will be from negative infinity up to and including some value, but we don't know exactly what. We have to do some calculations. H is negative b over 2a, and negative 2 over negative 2 ends up being 1. K is f of 1, which equals negative 1 plus 2 plus 3, which equals 4. So the vertex would be 1, 4. This would be the absolute highest point on the graph, because we've already determined that it is a maximum, so our range would go anywhere from negative infinity all the way and including 4. Now this does lead right into the next group, problems 11 and 12. We need to determine where the function is increasing and where it is decreasing. Just realize that if we have a maximum, then it's increasing from negative infinity up until the x value of the vertex. And then right at that point, it starts to decrease. But right at that point, right at that x value, we don't have an idea whether it's increasing or decreasing. It's doing nothing. It's not even constant. And so what these problems are asking us to do is to simply find the vertex and then decipher that information. So x squared plus 12x plus 36. We know that h is equal to negative b over 2a, which is negative 12 over 2, or negative 6. K is f of negative 6, which equals negative 6 squared plus 12 times negative 6 plus 36, and negative 6 squared is 36. 12 times negative 6 is negative 72, plus 36 is equal to 0. So the vertex is negative 6, 0. So I know now, when we look at where is it increasing and decreasing, we're interested in the x values. So between negative infinity all the way up until negative 6, it's doing something, and then from negative 6 to infinity, it's doing the other thing. Is it increasing or decreasing? Well, that's what we have to determine. This is going up. The parabola is opening upward, so that means this would be a minimum. So that means it's coming down like this, so it's decreasing until we hit negative 6, and then all of a sudden it'll go back up. So it's decreasing this way, and it's increasing here. And then one final example for this video, and that is example number 12. F of x is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. H, and really there's no need to find k. Just for completion I did it here. I'm not going to do it here, because all we are interested in is the x value, the h. So that'll be negative b over 2 times a negative 6 over negative 2, or 3. So we know something happens between negative infinity up until 3, and then at 3 all the way to infinity it does the other thing. Well, this negative means the parabola opens downward, which means it looks something like this. So we're going to increase up to a point, and then we start decreasing. We're increasing here and then decreasing here. So we are increasing here and decreasing there.